What's up, everyone? All right, so recap today, first trading day of October and locking it up in the green. Hit the daily goal and shut it down. One of the important things at the beginning of the month is trying to build a little bit of a cushion, hitting a couple of base hits, not overstaying my welcome, and I did that pretty well today. A little disappointing today on two notes. One was that the stock that I traded ended up making a really nice move, going up about 50%. I had a great initial entry, but as is kind of my approach right now, just took lots of small base hits, and I feel like I left quite a lot of money on the table. So a little disappointing there that I didn't capitalize better. By the time I finally started to scale up on share size, it was extended, and then I gave back half my profit as I added too high. I was able to make back what I lost as it rallied back up, but I just wasn't as clean as it could have been. But again, can't really complain too much. I hit my daily goal. It's a green day, and it's the first trading day of October. So, making some nice progress. I did go over my stats for the month of September this morning as part of the morning show, so you guys are welcome to check that out. Finished over the goal. The goal was 100 grand, finished at 131,000. That's terrific. Happy with that. The goal for October is also 100,000. If I can finish over the goal, that's great. It just takes a little pressure off of November and December. However, October, November, December are typically my best months of the year. Well, Q4 and then Q1. So from October through March, that 6-month period is where I usually do the best. So I could say it's not unreasonable to set a higher goal for the next 3 months at like 150,000 or even 200,000. But we're in a bear market, so before I get ahead of myself, I'm just gonna try to stay focused on 5,000 a day, 25,000 a week, 100 grand a month. And you know what? If I end up having a couple of 25, 30, 40, $50,000 days sprinkled between now and the end of the year, that would be phenomenal. I would love that. But if it doesn't happen, that's also okay. Base hits the way to go. So new month here, this is a great opportunity to focus on kind of pressing the reset button, looking at what you did in the previous month, making some adjustments for the month ahead. Those of you in trader rehab, focusing on one trade a day for the next 2 weeks, your goal is just to get green, get out, don't overstay your welcome, right? This is a great time to do that. Just get that base hit, get green, get out. My average winners for the month of September, only 14 cents per share. Now my accuracy was 69% and I took a ton of trades, to be able to equal up to 130,000, but only 14 cents average. So, think about that. If you're focusing on 10 cents a day, 15 cents a day, I think that's a realistic place to start. 10, 15 cents a day out of the market with 1 or 2 trades. So focus on discipline, don't overstay your welcome. A reminder, as always, my results are not typical. Trading is risky. My hope is that I'm able to help you in your journey to learning more about the market, gaining some financial literacy, and I hope you find this helpful. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. Thank you for being subscribed to the channel. Enjoy the recap, and I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. Okay, well, I'll do a little recap here. Haven't done a recap in a few days, but it's some days I feel like there's more to go over. Other days it feels like it's not as much. So anyways, today just thought I'd talk a little bit about ATXI, which ended up giving some really surprisingly good opportunities. So obviously today's the first day of the new month. I did my sort of month in review on YouTube a little bit earlier today, September month in review. Finished the month of September at about $131,000 in profit. Great month. Goal was 100K. Finished with 30,000 over the goal. Goal for October, 100K. 25,000 a week, roughly $5,000 daily goal. It doesn't account for red days, but I focus on $5,000 daily goal. It's kind of just a solid, easy number to work with. And, today I came in at 5,300. So I decided today, as soon as I crossed over that goal, just to lock it up. First day of the new month, just lock up a green day. So locking up green days, trying to be consistent. And I see, Chris, you're doing the same at 3,100. That's terrific. Melvin, 900. Good job, guys. This is phenomenal. This is a great way to start the new month, right? Get in, get green, shut it down. Well, on ATXI, I definitely left some money on the table. So we can go over this one for a second here. So ATX, so basically when I sat down this morning, just to kind of back up for a second, there was nothing that looked interesting. And I was sort of, I was like, all right, well, I sat and looked at the gap scanner, LOGC, this one is a buyout, no trades on it, LVWR, 200 million share float, no interest in it. ATXI wasn't on the scan yet. MYOV, $24 stock, 45 million share float. I was like, no, that one's no good. I mean, it went a little higher, but just not what I would typically trade. FNGR, although I did end up trading it, the float being a little higher, I just didn't really think it would be that interesting because it looked to me like a grinder, and grinding stocks don't usually make those kind of moves. So anyways, it did. I got about $500 on it. I'll cover that trade in a second as well. But anyway, so I didn't think anything looked that great. So I said, all right, well, let's do September month in review, go over the metrics from the month. And if at some point, while I'm doing that, something pops up, then I can switch gears and take some trades. And that's exactly what ended up happening. So, September month in review, going over the metrics, obviously was a little disappointed to have a red day there, broke my green streak, but in any case, so you could check out the episode from this morning to look more at the metrics from September. But someone mentioned ATXI curling up, and I pulled it up and I was like, okay, all right, I see what you're saying there. That was sort of like right here. It was right here as it broke over VWAP, volume weighted average price. And I saw that and I thought, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying there. And it had a nice move on Friday, which was something I don't really recall, but I don't know. Maybe I traded it and I just don't remember. I have such a sort of short-term memory of these. It just, we just look for the next one, move on. Sometimes I'll trade a couple days in a row. But anyway, so I noted that Friday's high was 1231. Had a pre-market high of about 12. And right here was at about, hit 1047. So I saw it hit 1047. I thought, I think this might be one, to watch the 5-minute setup for a break of 1047. And it's kind of insane, but I got in here for the break of 1047, and where I took my profit? Base hit stuff. I took a base hit in at 1047, took half off the table at 1061. 20 cents or 10 cents, 11 cents, 12 cents, 14 cents, whatever, 14 cents. Now, by the way, when we were looking at my metrics from the month of September, so it's kind of funny that was a 14-cent winner, because what we were looking at was that my average winners for the month of September were 14 cents. My average losers were, I believe it was 10 cents. Oh, come on. So losing. All right, so generate report. This is comparing winners to losers. 14-cent average winners, 10-cent average losers. My bear market strategy right now is to take these quick base hits. Take the base hit, get green, lock it up, and try again tomorrow. Get green, lock it up, try again tomorrow. So that's the bear market strategy. I'll put a link at the end of this recap to the bear market strategy for those on YouTube that missed it. But anyway, so I got in at 1047 average, 1045, 1047, whatever. Took half off the table at 1060, 1061. Then I added back at 1061 as it was showing it was holding that level, and I was like, okay, here we go. Added back at 1061. And so now let's look at this on, we could actually look at this on a 10-second chart and just kind of watch the micro pullbacks as they sort of formed. So this was the first spot right here. So first trade was right. So it first pops up here, and then there was a trade right here as it broke through 1047, and then I added back right there. So first trade was like right here, got in at the top basically, but that's okay. Small profit, added back at 61, took some profit at 69 up here, and then I added back at, let's see, 92, took some profit as it broke over 11, added back right here at about 11.15, took some profit as it went, so you can tell, added back on the next dip, took some profit as it went higher. And then this is where it pulled away, and I was not expecting that at all. All of a sudden it goes from 11.50 up to 12 to 12.50, and then right here, Adding right there for the breakthrough 13, it goes all the way to 1377. Adding right here, 1370, we go up to 14. And then I added a little too aggressively right here at 1477, thinking we were starting to get into parabolic. It hit 1510, and then it flushed on this candle down to 1413. And I gave back half my profit on that trade. So I got myself on this move to up about 3,200 or something like that, 3,200, 3,400. This drop, I was up only 1,800, gave back half. Added on one of these dips in here, got myself back to up 2,000. And then it was kind of choppy right through here into the open. And then at the open, I took this trade right there for the break through the high a day of regular trading hours, 1460. And we got a nice squeeze there up to 1520 and then up to a high of 1550. That put me up $4,000. Then we got a dip here. That rallied back up. And I actively traded in this range until finally just saying, you know, it doesn't quite feel like it's holding up well enough. I think I'm going to shut it down. So I think my last trade on it was like in this area here, looking for the curl through 1530. And then I said, all right, enough's enough. It doesn't seem to be holding up well enough. So some good trades on it, unexpected. They were all base hits for the most part. Base hit, base hit, base hit, but they add up. Unfortunately, I did have one bigger loser on it. Would have been nice. You know, if I'd held the whole position from 1060, I would have made $4 a share, but there's no way of knowing if a stock is going to go up $4 to $5 a share, or if it's just going to go up 30, 40 cents and then start to consolidate, become thickly traded, get choppy, and that was it. So anyways, I took the base hits on it. Base hit trading pays the bills. Got myself to green on the day to the daily goal. And FNGR, the only trade I took on this was a dip and rip on resumption from the first halt. So it halts up at 550 or 530. On resumption, I bought at just about 550, took profit as it came up to 6. So my entry on that was, let's see, let me just scroll up. So that was a pretty fast trade. I was in at 550 and took profit at 579 and 574. 574 is 579 as it came up. So 2,000 shares and $540 of profit. And with that, that was the only trade I took on that stock. Wasn't really sure it was going to hold. And it actually went into a second halt. And I was all out by the time it went into that second halt. And someone would have said, oh, you should have held longer for the halt. Well, yes, you know, could have, and in that case would have made a little more, but then on resumption it hit 620 and then back down to 550, right? So base hit trading, I think, is the way to do it. It's early in the month, so trying to just have a little consistency here. $25,000 is the goal for the week. I'm, you know, 5,000 towards that goal, 20,000 to go. So obviously just got to keep my head down, keep hitting the base hits. And that's, you know, that's the best way for me to, you know, I think keep focusing on hitting roughly, you know, 100K a month. So the last 90 days of trading was pretty slow in June, but slow in July as well. August was good. September was good. So I'm just going to keep focusing on trying to be consistent. The red days have been pretty few and far between, which is great. And they've been pretty small as well. So I'm pretty happy with these metrics in general. A couple bigger green days, nothing huge, but you know, that's the sacrifice. You're not going to get the glory of home runs when you're swinging for base hits and taking base hits, but you get fewer, typically fewer red days. So anyways, that's it for me. Locking up another green day here and starting the month with a little bit of profit. Some nice opportunities on ATXI. Good job for those that traded this morning, followed your rules for your strategy, and whether you're green or red, if you follow the rules, you can feel good about today. So I'll see you guys back at it first thing tomorrow morning. All right, see you in the morning. Hope you really enjoyed that video, and make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 1 million subscribers this year, but we won't get there without your help. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button.